A lot of things have happened since then, including the presidency. So, I have an obligation to do a good job, I feel, because I was really saved. I was really saved by somebody very special. People that are shooters, I'm not so much of a shooter, but people that were shooters say it's almost impossible that was a miss. I mean, it was a hit, but it was a miss. Although I do get that throbbing feeling every once in a while.
Is that right?
Yeah, a little bit. No, I owe a lot, and I hope the reason I was saved was to save our country. We had a country that was, I don't say dead because it's too strong, but we had a country that was really very close to being finished, in my opinion. And now we have the hottest country in the world. That's why I'm so saddened by this. But, it's one of those things, those tragic things that happen. But we had a country that was dead. It was dead. It was really in deep trouble. I was with world leaders, and they said, a year ago your country was dead, and now you have the hottest country in the world. And it sounds rough initially, but the second part of that statement is true. We have the hottest stock market. We have financially, everyone's going to be in great shape, and we've done a good job. So maybe the reason that I'm here after Butler, maybe that was part of the reason. We've worked hard. We don't take big vacations. If we take 10 minutes off, it seems like a lot. I think we've accomplished a lot in a short period of time, but being here was very important.
All right. Well,
10 minutes off, it seems like a lot.
What's going on, everybody? Let me
a
mute
lot in a
this.
short period of time, but being here was very important.
There you go. I've been having some internet issues. That's why I started a little late. Yeah, but we'll see. Just let me know. Yeah, let me know, y'all, if y'all can see that. But that's President Trump, right, on the heels of the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt, giving recognition to someone above, right? Now, we're going to ask the question. I mean, some of you may already know my answer. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Brother Caleb Collins already in here. I'm having some trouble with my computer. Slow right now, but that's why we started a little bit late. Whew, yes. Skipping at times. Okay, I'm getting some. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's lagging. I'm getting some lag on my end as well. Oh, man, I don't like this. You know what? It might be because my girls are streaming a movie, but let me know if it gets any better. What I might do is I might have to connect to the landline, but let me know if it doesn't get any better, but we'll keep working on it. So my question is Donald Trump a Christian? Y'all let me know. Thank you, Dynox. Yeah, skipping and pausing. Man, I don't like that. It is skipping and pausing on my end as well. I want to make sure that doesn't happen for you all. Yeah, man. Right. The leftists are attacked. Thank you, Roger Dodger. Victorian Lover, thank you for tuning in. Dino X44, thank you for tuning in. Black Sheep Gray Kitten, thank you for tuning in. Oh, man, I don't like this. I don't like that I'm having some problems with the stream. Yeah, we may have to. Let me cut some things and make sure that it's not. Okay, maybe I had that new timer set there. Okay, hearing me well now. Okay, as long as it is not skipping, because I want to. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I got a very interesting rundown. Okay, so yes, what's going on? What's that beat? Noctrix. Yeah. Okay. So is Trump a Christian? Right. That's the question. People come in periodically. And they ask that question, or they'll make that assertion, hey, Trump's not a Christian, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think he is. I don't care if he is. I'm not. Yeah, that's not. I didn't vote for him because he was a Christian. That wasn't the reason why I voted for him, and I make no claims that he is a Christian. Now, I'm not going to bet the house or bet my salvation or his salvation, right? I don't care. I mean, I believe that God can use non-Christians for his purposes, and I believe that he does that all the time. Because if God only used perfect people, then only one person would have been used, and that's the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, so what I need from Donald Trump is to adhere to the, to the U.S. Constitution, follow the laws, get the country back on track. That's what he's talking about in this video. He's saying world leaders have been telling him that last year your country was in a bad spot. Everybody knew that we had a weekend at Bernie situation going on with Joe Biden as president and Kamala Harris as the vice president. And strong leaders saw that and were taking advantage of it. America was essentially the footstool for the world. We were the laughing stock to people that were quite powerful and wanted to dominate the world. And they saw us as the obstacle when we had strong leadership. And they saw us, in the last administration, they're like, y'all have essentially a corpse running around here as the president, right? And again, do I think he's a Christian? No. And that's my personal opinion based on what I read in the scriptures, right? I believe that you can tell by what someone said, what they believe, what they say, and how they walk. Those are the three things that we can do as Christians to assess whether or not someone is a Christian. Someone who says Jesus is Lord. Okay, you're saying the right things. You believe that Jesus Christ is Lord. All right, now we have to inspect your fruit. All right, are you saying that Jesus is Lord, but then living as though he isn't? Right. And so we have to, but even in this clip, I don't think he was clear as to who he's talking about. He just makes a very, vague gestures to the man above. Right. I mean, let's just listen.
A lot of things have happened since then, including the presidency. Yeah. So, I have an obligation to do a good job, I feel, because I was really saved. I was really saved by somebody very special. Like people that.
Right. So you say by someone really special. Right. I mean, just. Yeah. I don't know. Just say it. I was saved by Jesus Christ. As a Christian, I have no problem saying that because I have no problem saying Jesus is Lord. Right? Now, again, do I believe that God can use Trump and is using him? Yes. Do I believe that God saved him? Yes. I believe that if God wanted Trump, if God had it in his book that Trump was supposed to be gone a year ago in Butler, Pennsylvania, that he was supposed to be 6 feet under, he would be. That's what I believe. Right? So I'm looking at it from that perspective. Yes, I believe God hasn't written in his book that July 13th, 2024, right, was Trump's time to go. So, yeah. I don't know. What are they saying, Brother Caleb? I don't know what they're saying. I don't know. I mean, I believe, yeah. Again, sometimes, you just got to, I know, Caleb, you're in there defending. Yeah, I get it. I appreciate you, brother. But sometimes people they won't hear. They hear what they want to hear, right? You got people coming in here saying that Trump is the Antichrist. I'm, as a preterist, I'm not even, I don't even, deal with futurists. I let them say whatever they want to say, right? Oh, you meant Trump. Okay, got you, brother. Yo, yeah, he's not trying to, you're right. He's not trying to say Jesus is Lord. Yeah, you're right. Exactly, Caleb. He's not trying to say that, right? He is not trying to say that. Yes. And so, again, last year around this time was when I threw my support behind him. It was when Kamala, it was after the Joe Biden debacle of a debate, and they decided to install Kamala Harris and once again prove that they're not interested in democracy and that anyone who challenges them will be, what's going on? Thank you for subscribing. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in, right? The playbook is to make us,
and you ain't black,
right? To jam us, to make us as black people get back on board on the plantation, right?
Put y'all back in chains.
Keep us on the plantation, making sure that we, follow the script and vote Democrat again, and this time we're going to give you a token black
I'm not
candidate.
gonna sit here
right?
and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people.
Right.
No.
Right. And so I was already voting for him, but I was just going to keep it quiet. I was like, whatever. Right. I voted for him in 2020. Didn't in 2016. I did third party. And I decided then, okay, so they're going to try to gaslight black America, make us believe that this woman is black, and then try to push her as the candidate. I'm not on board with that. This is not. Nope, we're not doing this again. I'm tired of the Democrats thinking that they own black people, right? And again, for the most part, they do. Ideologically, black people are slaves to the Democrat Party. That goes without saying. When you have 90+%, no other group gives a political party over 90% of their vote. The Hispanic community is split. The white people are split to a certain degree. No other group gives you 90%, 90+%. That's ideological slavery, right? That is ideological slavery, right? And so I was like, well, yeah, I'll vote for him. I'll vote for Trump this time, because thank you to everybody that's tuning in. If you could like the video on your way in, thank you very much. So yeah, do I believe Donald Trump is a Christian? No, I've never believed that. Right. I even did a video with him about the selling of Bibles, how I didn't like that. And I thought that he was pandering. I believe that the Republican Party has been pandering to Christians for years. Republicans in name only. I don't believe that. That's one of the reasons why I would always vote third party, because I knew that they were pandering to Christians, just like the Democrats were they pandered to evangelicals, right? Because they don't really govern the way that they say they would. Rhinos would never govern the way that they say they would govern. So I always went third party, right? And I saw in Trump and in the MAGA movement a departure from rhinos, because I was never going to vote for a Republican. I had no desire to, because I didn't see the candidates that they offered as worth my vote. So, I got on board with Trump after his first term. I thought he did a good job. And I said, okay, well, I'll vote for him. Right. I did it for the past 2 times. And again, did I vote for him because I thought he was a Christian? No, absolutely not. I don't think he's a Christian. Right. I think we've got so much work to do as Americans, right, to get back to our Christian foundations, right? And I think, right, if you want to read a good book on this, it's America's Christian History, The Untold Story by Gary DeMar. That's a really good book that highlights the Christian foundation of America. And it can thank you for thank you to everybody that's subscribing, Benny. And then, super chats will show up on the screen. Thank you to everybody that is doing the great work of helping me to build this channel. You see the subscriber count is going up. I've hit all of my goals for July by the end of, right. And see, there you go. We do have we're going to have some pushback, right? No one's saying that you have to be perfect to be a Christian. We don't believe in sinless perfection. I don't believe in that. I believe that there will be fruits. He says, by the fruits you will know them. You won't be ashamed to mention Jesus Christ as Lord. Here, even Trump doesn't really mention him. You're listening to someone and you want them to openly profess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Now, he may have done it in the past, and who knows, that may be the way he speaks, to somebody special up above. I just don't. I appreciate you all. If you could like the video, right? Sometimes people, if you don't, at 6 and So, we're called as Christians to discern whether or not someone's in the faith, right? And I appreciate, that some people will push back, but we're not supposed to be. I can think that he isn't, and still support him as a leader, right? Because I'm even. It depends on how you look at America's current situation, right? So if you look at it this way, This is one of the things that, even biblically speaking, let's say you are an Israelite and you have a king who isn't following the law. Well, what are you supposed to do in that situation as a faithful Israelite in the nation of Israel? And you have one of the kings where it says he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, and you're a part of the remnant. What do you do? How do you live? Do you stop supporting the nation? Do you stop praying to God? Do you stop worshiping? Do you stop going to temple? Do you stop, do you stop the feast days? Do you stop all of that stuff? No, you don't. You keep walking it out, and you keep trusting that the Lord will bring you a king who does what is right in the eyes of the Lord. Or you have this position where you've been exiled to a land that is not your own, like the tribe of Judah and Benjamin, when they were exiled into Babylon. So what do? The Bible says, well, it tells you, go plant vineyards, live in that city, pray for it, pray for its peace, pray for wherever you go, pray for the Lord to do right by it while you're there, because you're going to be there for a while. Maybe we're just here in this land where it isn't Christian anymore. It doesn't have this Christian foundation has been eroded, and we're supposed to just pray for the peace of this nation while we continue to plant vineyards, marry, give in marriage, train our children in the faith, so that we can build up the Christian foundation again. Maybe that's what we're doing. But wherever we are, biblical wisdom says you need to find a leader who will try to enact good laws and good rules. And if you have two options between this woman.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
And this man, well, it's an easy choice. It's an easy choice. Right? Now that was for me, right? That was for me. That was a simple choice, right? I could have gone third party, or I could have gone, Trump again for the second time. For me, it would have been the second time, right? But we're continuing to look at this from the perspective of, okay, what is he doing well? Praise it. What is he doing poorly? Call it out. That's our job, right? If you are America first, if you believe in the Constitution, if you are a seeker of truth, if you know that God is in control, you know that God controls Trump too. And if we want what is right and good, we have an ear with him, actually, right? And so people are going to his Truth Social. Maybe he sees it, maybe he doesn't. But we're starting to see that there are some actual rumblings happening inside of the administration. There's some discord happening in the administration because of the pushback of the base, right? Now, all of you that think he is a Christian, hey, go for it. I'm just not on that train. I don't think he's a Christian. So, and I don't think it really, to me, I would love it if he actually was. Now, some people, I don't think he's the Antichrist, obviously, either, because I'm not a futurist, right? And I'm not a dispensationalist. I believe that the Antichrist prophecy 6666 maps on perfectly to Nero, right? So I'm a preterist. So I believe that the temple, that Revelation was a prediction of 70 AD and the divorce from Israel as a covenant. There's so much language in the Bible about God divorcing Israel, God, saving a remnant out of Israel, and then, moving into a different age, and Israel, and then, divorcing from Israel, right? So, yeah, I'm not. Now, do I believe he was saved by God 1 year ago, almost 1 year ago exactly? Absolutely. Because I believe if God had written in his book, right, July 13th, 2024 is the last day on earth for this gentleman, he would have been gone. Right? That's how I look at it. Now, we talked about that for a little while. Now we we had that little conversation. We got everybody in here, to talk about it. Now we got to start talking about some of this other stuff. Okay. So this is Trump's long statement, right? Oh yeah, God divorced Israel. You should read some of the old covenant language. Israel was an unfaithful bride. She is in Revelation, she is pictured as Babylon, and there's a bride coming out of heaven adorned for. It's coming out. Revelation points out all of the imagery that the Old Testament prophets foresaw. And God divorces Israel. Like they're no longer his bride. He even says at Babylon, the place where the Messiah was crucified. He's calling Jerusalem Babylon. Yeah. Revelation is a very, very scathing indictment on. Yeah. All right. So let's keep going. Now, here we go. All right. Now, Trump had something to say, right? This is his long form tweet. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, right? Yeah. But what's going on with my boys, and in some cases, gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job, right? That's what he says, right? Yes, dispensationalists are actually in full force. They're already in full force. They're always in full force, right? They believe that their interpretation of the Bible is the only one that makes any sense, and very few of them have ever studied preterism. They just believe futurism by default, and that's because I've studied all of the positions, right? Preterist, futurist, historicist, idealist. I had to study them all because I wanted to understand which one, and I know where I land now. But so he says this, okay. She's doing a fantastic job. Why you always lying? No, she's not, because we're gonna talk a little bit about this. Oh, let's look at this. Right? Pam's doing a great job, huh? Okay. Well, let's look at what old Pam's doing over here, right? We're gonna talk about old Pam. Look at this. Pam Bondi. Hey, she says, look, the DOJ under Pam Bondi closes investigations into Pfizer for alleged bribery. Isn't that awesome? First Epstein, now this. Thanks, Pam. So now Big Pharma gets off. This is awesome, huh? Isn't it awesome? It's great. Yay. Yay. Well, Trump says she's doing a great job, so apparently. All right, we are on one team, he says, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. Okay, well, you may not like it, but now this is a lie right here. We have a perfect administration.
You're a liar.
No.
You're a liar.
No, that's not right. No, not perfect. Let's not talk about that. No. Here we go. And I don't like what's happening, right? He says we have a perfect administration, the talk of the world. Now that may be true. We may be the talk of the world. We are what everybody else is talking about. Let me get this right. There we go. Okay. And selfish people are trying to hurt it. So we're selfish. The people that want the list, we're selfish. I'm going to have to go with a no on that one. We want a reckoning with those people who would hurt children, who would create a PDF file ring. Nah, you're not perfect. Let's not say that. And we're not selfish. You promised the list. You haven't delivered. And now we're selfish. Trump, we're going to have to disagree with you on that one, partner. Let's see. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. Well, I mean, okay. Y'all brought him back up. Y'all promised the files. I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration? See, that's the gaslighting, right? Right? Because we got your promises. It's not like you didn't promise the files. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Thank you. Appreciate you. If you could like the video on your way in, appreciate you. Got 1,100 in here and only 52 likes. We get those likes up to 50%. That would be awesome. But love the subscriptions. Thank you. We've got your administration going in saying they were going to get the files. JD Vance saying, yeah, it's about time we get those files. Cash Patel, yeah, we're going to go get those files. Who else? Everybody talking about getting the files. And now, poof, there are no files. Right? It's right here. And then this is what you do. All right. Thank you. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Thank you, Keith Murray. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. So these are the people, and this is how he associates, right? Who conned the world with the Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, right? And more. They created the Epstein files just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Okay, so now that we see the, Keith Murray or Keith Murphy. It was a guy. Yeah, Keith Murphy. There you go. Sorry. Keith Murphy. Thank you. From Ireland, right? Yeah. I did that because we have a, pastor who's from Ireland. So that's one of the reasons why. I saw that one, Keith Murphy. Thank you. He's actually visiting. He's back home in Ireland right now. So, all right. Yes. But okay, so now the list is not important. So we're supposed to just shut up about it. See, that's not gonna work. Because we saw yesterday, Dershowitz says he's seen the list. Because he was saying that he wanted to see all of the information because he needed to be exonerated. Someone was accusing him of being a part of the PDF file ring. And he's seen all of it, but he's under confidentiality. And so he can't say anything about the ring or the list, but he's seen it. If they want to, who was it that said, oh man. Let me see if I can find it. All right. It's a bad thing what he's doing. It's a bad thing. It's a bit of bad thing. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Hold on one second. I had no, it was in another. Well, essentially, it was Steve Bannon who says that this could really hurt the Republicans in the midterms. Steve Bannon, right? But he said that this could be very harmful. It could cause them to lose 30 to 35 seats in, I believe that's what he said, in the next midterm. Right? So this is nothing to play around with. You're losing your base, right? So he talks about all that stuff, but then look, people are responding to him. You are losing too many in your base. Right? You're losing too many. Pam Bondi, don't lose the base over her. Yeah, it's not right. Charlie Brown says it. This was not a good idea. Read the room. You're not above reproach. Like Trump, you are not above reproach. This movement, it's not going to stand or fall based on whether or not you say it does. No. This movement has been growing for years. People are tired. They're tired. Thank you for subscribing. They're tired of being lied to. We're tired of being gaslit. We're tired of the deep state. We're tired of the uniparty. We're tired of all of this. And we thought you would be the catalyst to bring it all down. You said that you were going to drain what? The swamp. And so we're like, okay, well, we're doubling down. We're like, do it. You said you'd do it. Now do it. Right? Yeah. Now, doesn't mean we can keep, again, you guys are saying we can do multiple things at one time, because Trump is saying we're actually, when he had that interview and he interrupted Pam Bondi being questioned, he says, we've got all this other stuff going on and you guys are being disrespectful by talking about Epstein. That's what he's trying to do. But unfortunately, it's not going away. It's not going away. Now we got Cash Patel saying, you know, there's lies going on now. Right. Exactly, Chuck. Exactly. Right. We're being robbed of our base because it takes two, right, to make things go right. Yeah. It makes two to make it out of sight. Oh. Yeah. All right. But Cash Patel says, right, the cover up, the conspiracy theories just aren't true. Never have been. Okay, this is what Cash says. After, you know, there was speculation that he was going to resign. It's an honor to serve the president of the United States, real Donald Trump. And I'll continue to do so for as long as he calls on me. All right. Well, we're not going to worry about you because there was some friction, right? I don't know. The very perfect administration. Okay. Let's listen in, because this is not going away. This is not going away, guys. They may think it is, but it's not going away. People are still talking about it. Let's hear. Let's see. This is Tucker right? Yeah, Tucker Carlson talking about it. I always have problems saying that name. No, this is the long form. I'm going to leave the long form in the rundown in the description, but I at least wanted to, because he has a shorter clip. That's like a 4-minute. He went off for like 10 minutes. So we're not going to play the whole 10-minute clip. Okay. No. All right. So here we go. Let's see. Where is it? Is this? Yeah, it's this one, the 2-minute clip.
In case you're interested, is that the DOJ didn't release lots of incriminating sex videos with Epstein and his billionaire pals because they don't have them. They don't have them because when the original search warrant was served 2007, I think, possibly 2006, I think 7, it was basically designed to protect Epstein. The search warrant was written in such a way to make sure that the feds never got their hands. It's naughty.
Oh, sorry.
There is nothing.
Let's go back.
Sex videos with Epstein and his billionaire pals because they don't have them. They don't have them because when the original search warrant was served 2007, I think, possibly 2006, I think 7, it was basically designed to protect Epstein. The search warrant was written in such a way to make sure that the feds never got their hands on the actually incriminating evidence. It's another way of saying the cover-up has been going on since 2007, almost 20 years. And so the real question is not, was Jeffrey Epstein a weirdo who was abusing girls? Yes, we can answer that. The real question is, why was he doing this, on whose behalf, and where did the money come from? And those are the questions that need to be answered. And I think it's entirely fair to ask them. And it's not adequate to say anyone who asked them is somehow desecrating the memory of little girls who died in Texas. I'm not going to put up with that answer. I don't care who gives that answer. That is not acceptable. And I think the real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? How does a guy go from being a math teacher at the Dalton School in the late 70s with no college degree to having multiple airplanes, a private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan? Where did all the money come from? And no one has ever gotten to the bottom of that because no one has ever tried. And moreover, it's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. There is nothing hateful about saying that. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying that. There's nothing even anti-Israel about saying that.
You see what's happening? This is not going away because loud enough voices are talking about it. Tucker has If you go, let me see. I'm just going to go youtube.com. Tucker Carlson. He has millions of followers. Candace Owens, millions of followers. They're not, this is not going away. And it shouldn't be allowed to go away. Because this points back to the reality that we can't be both Israel first and America first. And I know the Zionists are going to come into the comments and they're going to say, right, that we're either this, not exactly, but that's racist. They're going to say that's racist. That I'm racist against. But we can't fall for that anymore. We can't. We can't keep falling for this. That's the left's playbook, right? This is why the Ben Shapiro's of the world, they fire Candace Owens from the Daily Wire, right? What's his name? The Barstool Sports guy. Yeah. He freaks out when someone makes a statement about jokes being okay. How many people have to die before you? Right. Do you know how many people? That's essentially the same argument that Jamal Bowman makes about black people being more prone to cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and the like, because white people might call them the N-word. Black people are dying of all these diseases because y'all keep calling us the N-word. Right? That's like, come on, man. Like, are we serious? And so you all use the left's playbook, but then get upset when we call you out on it. But this is the thing, and this is the thing that people aren't recognizing, right? A lot of third-party voters came over to Trump in 2020 and 2024. But we were never full Republicans. We were constitutionalists or libertarians or whatever other party you were. But we came over because Trump had an America First agenda, and we saw what Biden had done and how horrible he had governed and how he had put the country on the brink of disaster. And we were like, well, we can't allow Kamala to finish the job, right? Because we don't know if our children will survive it. It's hard enough as it is for us to survive it, and things were getting worse. And so we said, okay, we'll cover our nose, vote Republican this time. Because the promises that Trump made were promises that we were like, well, yeah, we want. And we've been asking for the Epstein list for years. We've been asking for this for years. We've been asking for, And so, yeah, you got us to vote for you. Now, if you want to keep us around, you've got to deliver. We can't accept this, because you don't own us like,
Gonna put you all back in chains.
You don't own us ideologically like Democrats own black people. We'll go back to voting third party, and you'll just have to figure it out. Right? Now, there are tremendous things, and Trump is not lying when he says that we're going to talk about a lot of the tremendous things that Trump is doing. But this is a black mark, and he's not going to be able to gaslight it away. He's not going to be able to shame it away. That's not going to work. You're not going to be able to do that. Shame on you guys for not supporting everything I do. And now you're acting like Hillary and Barack and all these others. It's like, right? You kept your promises for the most part in your 2016 term, which is why we voted for you in 2020, which is why some of us voted for you in 2024. So, like, leftists are never getting my vote because they've jumped over the rationality line years ago. They've gone to the point where they can't define what a woman is. They don't know what marriage is. They want, transgender everything and all these other things. They want fetus deletion up to 9 months in some states. They are irrational, illogical, ungodly, unfit for governing. So that's that. So if our choices were them or you, okay, we'll rock with you, Trump. But we can't do the left. Can't do that. Sorry, we just can't. We can't. I've never voted for a leftist again in my life. Well, I don't even know. Yeah, not since becoming a Christian. I can't vote for anybody like this. Right? Nope.
And you ain't black.
Yeah, no, can't do it. Somebody who believes he owns me so much so, and their part. He said the quiet part out loud. He said the quiet part out loud. That we own you. We own what blackness is. Biden owns what the Democrats believe they own what blackness is. And why would they not believe that? Because Lyndon Baines said he'd own us for 200 years. We were dumb enough to follow his plan. We were dumb enough to, as a group, dumb enough to follow the Great Society programs, dumb enough to allow Planned Parenthoods into low-income neighborhoods and allow the preachers to get rich while we deleted our children, right? So all of these said, yeah, we were dumb enough to believe that affirmative action and governmental power was going to help us to rise as a community. All of these things, yes, that's one of the reasons why. Okay,
put y'all back in chains.
The fear tactics that the left always uses. None of these things are actually going to, right? None of these things are actually going to or to stop when you're dealing with leftists. They believe that they own you. Okay. And that's fine. But ideologically, they don't own me. And I'm not afraid of Republicans, right? I'm like, I'm the boogeyman, right? The boogeyman. Okay. Yeah, they're the boogeyman. The Republicans are the boogeyman. How dare you vote for it, right? How dare you? Thank God for the white man, your Uncle Ruckus, right? That's exactly what they think, right? Whenever they see somebody like me toting the line of the Democrat nonsense, right? That's, yeah. So, yeah. All right. People are saying that Biden isn't a leftist. Okay, great. That is what it is, right? Let's just say, okay, he was a tool, a puppet, right? Whatever. It doesn't matter, right? He governed that way. They were able to use him as a figurehead to get all their leftist agendas passed. Either way, it's the same. 6-1, right? 6-1. Okay. Congratulations on, yeah. Anyway. All right. So Megyn Kelly and Megyn Kelly and Tucker have a little conversation about.
Think there's any intel community involvement in this?
I wouldn't be surprised one bit. I am convinced, based on my own sources and my own reporting on this story, he wasn't one of ours.
So he wasn't American, which leads basically three options: MI6, Saudi, or Mossad.
Yep.
Which one would you choose?
I guess Mossad, given his connection to Ghislaine Maxwell.
So what does that mean?
Well, I mean, it's possible that that's the reason everything's getting buried, that there is some treasure trove, and it's getting buried because...
How many people here believe that? Raise your hand. Okay, I'd say about half the hands think that it's being buried because of an Israeli thing.
It could be. I really don't know.
I have no evidence to suggest that.
No, me neither. I did think it was very odd how, look, half of you raised your hands because you've heard that theory, you've heard it debated, you have questions, but the one time Pam Bondi was asked a question about this at the cabinet meeting on Monday, she was like, and as for whether he was an agent, that I don't know. I haven't looked into that. I'll get back to you. You haven't looked into it? What do you mean? So that was a bit of a fishy answer.
And Megan, remember Alexander Acosta in 2007, he said he was told to treat Epstein carefully because he was an intel asset. That was one of Trump's cabinet secretaries who was literally a U.S. attorney 3 hours from here in Florida. He said that himself.
Well, and let me tell you the consequences of that. His subpoena, his search warrant on Jeffrey Epstein's residence was very narrow. It was not the kind of like, let's get everything. Let's see. everything inside this guy's, dressers and so on. It was very, very narrowly tailored. And to this day, that's what the FBI is stuck with. So it really is possible that Dan and Cash got in there and, in like a Geraldo and Al Capone's vault situation, opened it up and we're like, oh my gosh, there's nothing in here. Like, we did not find the magic documents or photos or evidence of anything. And why not? I don't know we'll ever know why not. I'm not sure we'll ever know, but.
Right. Again, this is Tucker, Megyn Kelly, Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens. These are some big name people that are actually talking about this, and these are people that actually helped to get Trump elected. This is one of the reasons why he puts out that Truth Social post. He has to. If it were just people like me that have, they're like, this guy's sitting there talking. He doesn't even have 10,000 subscribers. They don't care. But when you have people who have millions upon millions of subscribers, who have influence, who help to shift the election toward Donald Trump, this is why this post has to be made. Right? That's why this post has to be made. That's why he has to go on the offensive. That's the issue. I mean, Megyn Kelly's calling for Bondi to resign. I think she needs to resign. I don't think she's MAGA. I don't think she's America first. Let's say that, because I don't really care about MAGA. But I don't think she's America first. When you close the Pfizer investigation, we still, I mean, what are we supposed to believe when that happens? Yeah, that's right. There you go. Cheryl Schultz. Yeah, she should resign. Yeah. And again, I said it in the last video. If it's obviously they are doing what Trump wants them to do. If Cash Patel says he wants to serve him until he needs him, or he doesn't need him anymore, or whenever he wants, then Trump is obviously in on this. But then she does this, right? Closing the Pfizer. Yeah. So what do we do? Right. Nothing to see here, right? Nothing to see here. Okay? Yeah. And to the leftists, like, we really don't care what you guys think. You guys have lost all objectivity, right? So let's see what we're going to talk about next, right? Now we're going to listen into a very opinionated individual. Very opinionated, okay? So he's got some stuff. He's saying some of the same stuff y'all are saying in the here we go. In the chat. All right, let's back it up a little bit. Here we go. Hello from Poland. All right, Poland.
In an uproar off the Epstein list? That's all you've got? It's really, really surprising that this matters. Of course, I think there's a list, but I don't know. I suspect, but I have no knowledge, nor do I care. It's Friday night. I'm getting ready to go out and enjoy myself. I'm getting ready to have a nice weekend. I could give a damn about the Epstein client list. It has no effect on me whatsoever. I have a life. I don't understand for the life of me why this matters so much to these. I'm talking about people losing it. They're crying on camera. They're talking about resignations. They're pissed off about everything. I'm like, really? With all the stuff going on in this country, with all the power that you possess because of the cachet and the influence you have because of your connection to this administration, that's why you upset at Trump. I didn't blame Trump one bit for looking at them and saying, really? That really matters to you? That's really that important? Now, maybe he had a different reason for saying it, trying to be evasive or whatever. I don't know. But I do know this. In the grand scheme of things, it ain't going to affect the lives of over 200 to 300 million Americans. I think we'll be just fine without knowing whether or not there was really, really a client list. I think we'll be okay. It's unbelievable that this is a big deal to me. It really is.
So Stephen A., who is a Disney / ESPN employee, I don't know, entertainment industry plant, I don't know. I mean, maybe he has some marching orders, you think? Because, yeah, maybe it's not going to, I mean, did it stop me from taking my wife out on a date last night? No. Did it stop me from going to church? No. Will it stop me from going to church tomorrow? No. Will it stop me from raising my kids? No. But that could be said about a lot of things. They don't stop me from doing a lot of things. What the stuff that Trump is doing doesn't have a direct effect on my daily activities, but it doesn't mean that we can't opine about the situation. Now, I'm not going to get on a live and cry and about things, right? I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to reason through it with my audience, and I'm going to talk about other things, right? So I'm fine. I agree with him on that it's not going to affect my day to day, but we can still have an opinion, can't we? Because Stephen A. has opinions about things all the time that don't affect his day to day. He gets on that show with Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly and talks about things all the time that don't affect his day to day. That's what they do. That's what commentators do. That's what reaction content is about. I'm not affected by most of the things that I talk about on a day-to-day basis. I don't live in New York. I talk about Mamdani. I don't live in California. I'm going to talk about Newsom. I don't live in Washington. I'm going to talk about Trump, Bondi, Patel, Bongino. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff that doesn't affect my day to day. And do you all have conversations about anything that doesn't affect your day to day? That's not a good enough reason to tell people to stop worrying about this. Because if you were consistently applying that across everything that you discussed, then maybe we could agree with it. But we know that you're not being consistent. Stephen A. comments on stuff all the time. He's not being, and those of you that are saying don't worry about it and that you agree with him that, oh, it doesn't bother your day to day. Okay, great. Do you keep that? Do you consistently do that in your life where if something doesn't affect your day to day, you just don't discuss it, right? And if you say that you do, then
You're a liar. You're a liar.
Right? You're a liar. Right? You're lying. You're lying. Okay? Now, let's move on to something else. Okay, we got some more stuff. This is the rundown. I got some stuff in the rundown, right? Got some more stuff in the rundown. Where is it? Yeah, we got some stuff. All right. So, she closes Pfizer. That's all we're gonna. We're gonna leave the ICE situation alone for now. Not ICE. We're gonna leave the Epstein situation alone. We're about to talk about ICE. Yes. All right. So, yeah. Ooh, boy. We got to talk about that. So we're going to talk about that. Yes. Let me pull this up, right? All right. Yes. ICE. Right. Yes. All right. right, so here we go. We're going to talk about this because there's some stuff that has actually been happening, okay? That's very interesting. Let's listen to Tom Homan first. I haven't talked about Tom in a while. I miss the straight, no chaser, no nonsense Tom Homan. Let's listen in.
But Tom, it strikes me unbelievable that the Democrats are not on board. When you look at this raid, there were 10 juveniles that were illegally brought across the border. You and I covered this under the Biden administration. I was down in Texas. We encountered 8, 10-year-old, 12-year-olds coming across with just a name and an address and a phone number on their necks, the cartel ruthlessly sending them across. And yet now we know that 10 of them, 8 of which were unaccompanied minors working illegally in a marijuana farm, and your agents go in and rescue them essentially, and yet there is violent resistance to that. Does that upset you?
It certainly upsets me, and like I said, you know, the work men and women of ICE are doing is incredible. Look, we're looking for over 300,000 missing children. We've already found 10,000. Have you heard that anywhere? No, the media is simply not covering it. And look, this should be a nonpartisan issue. Arresting public safety threats and national security threats, everybody be all the same page on that. Rescuing children, I mean, it should be a nonpartisan issue. Everybody should be in lockstep on that, but they're not. The media is lying. The Democrats they don't want President Trump to be successful. I got news for them. We are being successful. Every illegal alien public safety threat we arrest makes this country safer. Every national security threat we take off the street and deport makes us safer. And we're rescuing thousands of children. The lives saved every day by ICE, the lives saved every day by Border Patrol, are in the hundreds. So it's the only thing I can think of, Griff, if they hate President Trump more than they love their community. They hate President Trump more than they want, safe communities. And there's just no other excuse why this is not, why this has become a partisan issue to take public safety threats off the street.
All right, so that's essentially what this is all about. They hate Trump. They don't want him to succeed. They want the low wage. Yeah, they want the low-wage workers to continue, right, to populate so that they can have their, Gavin Newsome, right? Let's listen. Let's look at what Gavin's been doing, okay? He's being investigated, right? He's been investigated. Right? The president, the president of the weed farm that was raided for employing illegals, including unaccompanied children, is a Gavin Newsome donor. Gavin Newsome criticized the raid. Would you look at that? Newsome's donor's cannabis farm under federal investigation for child labor violations. I wonder if that was, is that a conflict of interest, maybe? Maybe. Right? These people are so, man. Yeah. I mean, this is, and Scott Jennings is doing the Lord's work on CNN, right? Owning the libtards, if you want to think of the libtards on the, right? Yeah, let's listen in. So this is him dealing with Abby Phillip, as usual.
It's the type of thing that the judge is saying cannot happen anymore.
Yeah, it sounds like, they're going to continue to fight this out in court. Obviously, the administration has a point of view here that's different than what the court said. I just want to go back to the thing I was most concerned about in reading all of this today, and that's that these little children are found on these farms. I mean, are we really saying here in the year 2025, well, we have to maintain the status quo of illegal immigration in the United States because we need little children to pick marijuana in California? It's like blowing my mind.
No, Scott, I think you're making a really, frankly, it's a very important point. I mean, the fact that young children, immigrants or not, are working on these farms, whether they're forced to because they have to make money for their families, or maybe they, for whatever reason. I totally agree that is something that we as a country need to address. But I think you have to acknowledge that there has been no effort made by policymakers, Republican or Democrat, to address the driving causes of that, which are the employers willing to employ these children. Who is employing a 16-year-old undocumented immigrant?
Yeah,
and
I
why
agree.
are those
I mean, one of the
questions not
farms that was raided, I read, is even a Gavin Newsome donor. I think the governor of California should ask why you're doing these things. And I don't have a problem going after employers.
By the way,
I really don't.
I know we want to make it about California, but it's not about California.
Well, in this case,
there are more than a dozen states in this country allow children to work on farms. Who do you think those children are? Those children are more than likely going to be immigrants or undocumented immigrants.
But the cases we're dealing with today were
I'm just saying.
I'm just
saying it's not a California thing. It's it's a United States of America thing.
And if we're so concerned about children, Scott, there are people their parents who are being kidnapped by this agency where their children are in school. There are parents who are being kidnapped by this agency whose children are literally dying. And so if we're so concerned about children, maybe we should stop kidnapping people while their children are dying and their sole caretakers are being deported by ICE. There are multiple cases where they are kidnapping people out of hospitals.
What does kidnapping mean?
It means a government agency has been given license to disappear people. That is what
does that mean?
Right.
So you mean an ICE agent takes an illegal immigrant into custody?
We got to squeeze in a
but you don't know if they're an illegal immigrant. That is my point. I don't use that term. You don't know what their status is. And so if you can just come and snatch somebody off the street and say you don't get due process, and that means I'm not a citizen. It is a disgusting thing that we're watching, and anybody who defends it is disgusting and despicable and deplorable when you see the horrific conditions that people are being kept in, and they don't deserve it.
We got to leave it there and squeeze in a quick break. We will be right back.
I'm glad you are actually I'm glad you all are actually pointing out the hypocrisy, right? And all of the name calling. They're all value judgments. You're a disgusting human being if you support these people being sent back to the country. There's a great video. One of my subscribers sent it to me. It really highlights the hypocrisy of all of this. These people are making accusations about things of which they yeah, we're gonna look at it. Hold on one second. All right. They hate this country. I'm just gonna let the video play. It'll say it better than I can. It'll make the point better than I can make the point. Let's listen in, right?
The flag of the country we don't want to live in the country we do want to live in. Viva Mexico!
You're going back to Mexico.
Yay!
Please don't send me back there.
Wait a minute, shouldn't we be waving the American flag if we want them to let us stay?
Down with America! Viva Mexico!
Okay, sir, we'll book your one-way flight to Mexico right now.
Wait, I was just kidding. I love McDonald's. I have Taco Bell receipts. God bless the USA.
So about staying here, would that be all right?
Are you serious? No! You broke in and you're literally destroying my home.
Viva Mexico!
You're going back to Mexico?
Please don't send me back there.
Hi.
Hola, amigo.
Is Mexico better than the United States?
Yes, of course. This country sucks.
Then why don't you go live there?
No, man, you are a racist. Stop the deportations now.
Viva Mexico!
Okay, buddy, back to Mexico, so you go then.
No, don't make me back to Mexico.
I thought you loved Mexico.
Let's wave the flag of the country we don't want to live in.
Right, and yes, this is an AI video, right? It's satirical. It's supposed to make a point. Right. One of my subscribers sent it to me. I thought it was hilarious because that's exactly what it sounds like. You guys hate the country that you fled to. You wave the flag of the country you don't want to go back to. And then we have the likes of Abby Phillip and Tiffany Cross saying that you're despicable if you support deportation efforts. This is the playbook. The left's playbook is to gaslight, is to name call ad hominem. That's exactly what their playbook is, and that's one of the reasons why we recognize it so quickly, because the left has been doing that to us for years. So when you have the Epstein client people doing the same thing, we're like, oh, okay, well, this is y'all following their playbook now, huh? Oh, so we're traitors if we want the Epstein client list. Oh, okay. Gotcha. We're deplorable, just like Tiffany Cross says here.
Concerned about
right?
children, maybe we should stop kidnapping people while their children are dying and their sole caretakers are being deported by ICE. There are multiple cases where they are kidnapping people out of hospitals.
What does
They're
kidnapping
kidnapping. It means a
Kidnapping,
government
lying,
agency has
kidnapping.
been given license to disappear
He's lying.
people. That is what
does that
means.
mean?
All
Disappear
That means
people?
Takes
Yes,
the illegal
we have
immigrant
to
into
squeeze
custody?
we got to squeeze in a
Yeah, but
quick
you don't
break.
know if they're an illegal immigrant. That is my point. I don't use that term. You don't know what their status is. And so if you can just come and snatch somebody off the street and say you don't get due process, and that means I'm not a citizen. It is a disgusting thing that we're watching, and anybody who defends it is disgusting and despicable and deplorable when you see the horrific conditions that people are being kept in, and they don't deserve it.
We got to leave it there and squeeze in a quick
Right, you see how she read him the Black Girl Riot Act, right? She like, I said this and I'm done, and like she was the finger and the. But you got to learn how to ignore that, right? You got to learn how to ignore it. I'm telling you, it just as a black man, as a white man, Scott Jennings has just got to keep. And every week they're bringing on somebody new, a new black woman to read him the Riot Act, right? You got the Carrie Champion, Tiffany Cross, who else? I forget the other ones. There've been so many of them, just a laundry list of them that come on, and he just sits there and hits them with the facts, just keeps it going, right? And they try. You can see her face. She is done, right? She is done. You know, if you've grown up in the black community, you've seen that look on a black woman's face, right? You know, that's yeah, right. So, Scott, we look. Black men have been, we've been dealing with that for years, man. We've been dealing with it for years, right? It's just that she's like it with the hand and everything, right? She had the hand up. Woo! She's like, watch the hand, watch the hand, watch the hand.
Maybe we should stop kidnapping people while their children are dying and their sole caretakers are being deported by ICE. There are multiple cases where they are kidnapping people out of hospitals.
What is
They're
kidnapping
kidnapping. It means a government agency has been given license to disappear people. That is what it means.
What does that mean? So you mean an ICE agent takes an illegal immigrant into custody?
We got to squeeze in a quick
but you don't
break.
know if they're an illegal immigrant. That is my point. I don't use that term. You don't know what their status is. And so if you can just come and snatch somebody off the street and say you don't get due process, and that means I'm not a citizen. It is a disgusting thing that we're watching, and anybody who defends it is disgusting and despicable and deplorable when you see the horrific conditions that people are being kept in, and they don't deserve it.
We got to leave it there and squeeze in a quick break. We will be right back.
I could have used this one for black fatigue. Yeah, but my goodness, and Abby Phillips like, that was funny. I'm sorry. She just had to. She went in, right? She went in, and Scott's doing his thing, right? Now, we got Karen Bass doing what she does, right? Yeah. Karen Bass doing what she does, right? It's another one. She about to do it. Come on, Karen. Show us what you're going to do. She's going to try to sign up an executive order requiring federal agencies to provide information on immigration raids in Los Angeles. She's trying as much as she can to impede the progress. Why? Because if the census counts illegal immigrants, if you get rid of those illegal immigrants from California loses some power because they lose electoral votes. That's why they're fighting so hard.
I am here today to
They don't
sign
love
an
illegals.
executive directive.
They love
and I just
power.
want to point out the irony for a minute that there is a need for me to have an executive directive to help our city understand how to protect itself from our federal government. Just let that sink in for a minute. What we have seen here over the last now going on 6 weeks of raids that pop up and we never know exactly when and where they're going to happen. We've seen them in the general region. I'm sure many people saw Camarillo yesterday and what broke out there. We saw MacArthur Park earlier this week, which I think now, after all assessments, it is viewed as just a display of force, just to put the city in its place, to say we are the federal government, we can roll out troops whenever we choose. So
that's a good thing because you all are breaking the law. You are aiding and abetting criminals. These people are here illegally. Once they cross the border, they're criminals. Okay? Criminals. So we should deport them. That's how it goes. All right? We shouldn't allow them to stay here. And you all won't help. So Donald Trump has to, right? He has to send the federal government down to your city. I'm saying it slow for the people in the back, right? That don't seem to understand that he has to present a strong force against your disobedience to the federal laws. That's exactly what he's doing. And she needs to be in jail. Absolutely. She needs to be in jail. It is a crime. So she's trying to use her governmental authority to subvert, right? But yeah, yeah. And we've talked about I know you guys, you say misdemeanor, but we've done that multiple times where we've, debunked that, right? And then we're going to talk about this too. Okay. This is another interesting development. But yes, the federal government wants to enforce the immigration laws. Get out of the way and allow them to do it, right? Everybody keeps saying it's a civil infraction. No, it's not, guys. All right. It's easy to go and find that information. We're not going to relitigate that here, right? I know you believe what the left has told you. Okay. But we're not doing that here. We don't believe the left. We do our own research here. All right. So, but we're going to talk about this. Okay. Tucker's been talking about this because there's been some information floating around that there could possibly be amnesty for. Let's listen in.
Any questions? Yes, sir. What do I think about amnesty for farm workers? I think it's the most grotesque thing I've ever heard. Are you joking? Amnesty for farm workers? We have like 60 million illegal aliens in the country. The country bears no resemblance to the country I grew up in, and it's not better, it's worse.
Yell at Tucker.
So I'm not going to sit for another lecture from anybody telling me we need to import more people to write code or pick grapes or any other task. Period. It hasn't worked. The country hasn't gotten richer. It hasn't become more unified. Those words should burn on the tongue of anyone who utters them. How dare you talk like that? Amnesty. How about deportation? What about that? Any questions? Yes, sir.
That's it. That's it. Right there. The due process is you're found, you're processed, you're deported. There doesn't need to be a lengthy process of court dates and all these other things. No. Found. Citizen check. Negative. Deportation. Simple, right? Simple. 3-step process. Found. Are you citizen? No. That's the flow chart. Deport. That's it. It's really not that hard. How many did he say we have in the country?
What do I think about amnesty for farm workers? I think it's the most grotesque thing I've ever heard. Are you joking?
How many? How many?
Amnesty for farm workers?
There are.
We have like 60 million illegal aliens in the country.
60 million. 60 million, right? They want everything. They want them to have paternity test, blood test, DNA test, right? Go in the cup, drug test every 6 months. Then say the Pledge of Allegiance 2 times. And then it's just No, man. No, it really isn't. You're here illegally. You're already a criminal. You don't belong here. Book flight. Go. America can't be the dumping ground for every person with a sob story. We can't handle the entirety of the world's problems. Who designated America? Why does no other nation have this mandate that we have open borders? No other nation has open borders. What name another nation then? Name another nation that behaves the way you all want America to behave. That already that takes in everybody, that pays for everything, and then let's look at how that's working out for them. All right, now let's look and see how it's working out for the nation that you named. Is it going swimmingly? Right? Even if it's 60 million, if it's 11 million, right? Let's look it up then. Let's look it up. Let's see. Illegal. Yeah. Shout out Ireland. Yes. All right. So 11 million in 2022. Right. That's 2022. Reports much higher figure, 18.6 as of March 2025. 18.6. All right. There you go. Here's the problem. One, identification and apprehension. Issuance of a notice to appear in court. Immigration court proceedings. Relief from removal. Decision and appeals. Physical removal. 11 million, right, 25 years ago. And they're expediting these, right? Ron DeSantis is helping to expedite these processes. The immigration court proceedings, right? It's optional defenses. It's not necessary. Those are not necessary, right? If the judge orders removal, appeal to the board, right? Physical removal. Okay. But these can be expedited, right? Expedited in special processes. Expedited removal, right? No court hearing. Right there. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, these can be expedited. It's not that hard, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. I know. People want me to do all the research right on a live show. It's like, okay, you say so.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Right. In the middle of a live show, I'm going to stop everything and just start doing research, right? No, you use chat to help expedite the process to show how foolish you guys are. And it helps, right? It proves the point quicker. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, wow. Yeah. All right. So we got some more stuff to talk about. Let's see. Oh, what do we got? Here we go. Right? right? And so they can expedite it, and they have been. All right. So let's look at this. All right. We're going to talk about this again. I know this one, everybody's really excited when I talk about this again. All right. Now, we're going to listen to this. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay. All right. Let's listen in. This one is right, and exactly deport. I mean, that's what we voted for. We voted for mass deportations. We voted for them. Okay.
What do you say to all these Israel first, like neocons and warhawks that have come out of the woodworks these past few weeks, who label anyone who doesn't back every single one of Israel's actions as labels as anti-Semitic?
I completely reject that. As a matter of fact, I find that to be a form of bullying. And, you know, I think organizations like AIPAC and Christians United for Israel should register under the law as foreign agents because they are lobbying on behalf of Israel. Now, I fully support Israel. I support many countries all over the world, and I truly want the best for their people. However, I work for the American people, and my job title is United States Representative. So my job is to represent my district in Georgia's 14th district, as well as United States citizens all over our country. And I'm unapologetic about it. I'm not anti-Semitic. I don't wish any Israel or any other country harm. As a matter of fact, I want world peace, and I push for that constantly. But I really think that we should start calling it bullying. It's not wrong to say no to Israel. And we need to remind everyone, Israel has nuclear weapons. And to my Christian friends out there, this is the secular government of Israel that we're talking about and not the Israel of the Bible.
Oh, come on, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, Marjorie says she's not anti-Semitic, but apparently we found someone who is. Right? Right. People are like, Grok, is this true? Right. Now, y'all let me know if this is true. Right. But it says Israelis are asking to ban Grok 4 after it compares Israel to parasite which controls America, end quote. Right. I don't know. I'm just saying, right? He's not. People are making fun of him like, Grok right now. He can't answer, right? So apparently we found somebody who is anti-Semitic. And it's Grok. All right. Grok 4. He's like, well, let's look at this. This was an interesting time-lapse video. Right? Let's look at it. Let's see what y'all think of this. Y'all let me know what y'all think of it. Okay? Let's look at it. Know what y'all think of this video. Y'all see that? You'll see that wasn't the green to the blue. And boom, 48. I'm just saying. Right? The Palestinians might understand the plight of Americans not wanting an illegal alien invasion. They might understand our plight. Right? Look what happened to them. I'm just saying. No. I'm just things to think about. Things to think about. Okay. All right. So let's keep moving on. We got this. Let's go back. Yeah, Grok is And then I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, she says it. It's not the Israel of the Bible. We are not commanded. We're not commanded to support everything that they do. We're not commanded by God in the scriptures. If they believe, they don't even, especially Christians, they don't even worship the Messiah. And again, I believe that the Bible clearly teaches that God divorces Israel in 70 AD. And you see his new bride coming adorned for him out of the clouds. Right? Okay, so let's talk about this. We're gonna so we got that. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's talk about some of these treasonous lefties. All right, let's do that. Let's talk about some of these treasonous lefties that want to keep, oh goodness, this reckoning that's coming apparently. And thank you to everybody that's subscribing. I appreciate you all. All right, it's getting late, but we're gonna try to go for another 15 minutes, and then we'll be done for the night, okay? Because we've been going for an hour.
In McAllen, Texas, several people were injured. The perpetrator was actually neutralized, but that's also something we don't want to see, is an uptick in violence against law enforcement who are doing their jobs. So if you have a problem with this, talk to your lawmaker. That's the place to do it.
If they would do their jobs the way that I think they should be doing their jobs, which is unmasked without disappearing people from the streets, I don't think that the public would feel as endangered. Because if someone approaches my loved one who's undocumented with a mask, how do I know that they're actual law enforcement? How do I know that they work for ICE? So that's one thing I'll say.
There's actually people who have impersonated ICE officers.
But do they show an ID? They don't show IDs. They're not dressed appropriately. They're not flagged, and they're masked. And so in my world, if you mask yourself because you don't want to be seen, because there will be a reckoning for some of the actions that actual law enforcement have done.
So they got a problem with people wearing masks now? That's they heard the new term, disappearing people. And I bet you some of those same people that were talking about me having an opinion about the process are not going to have a problem with her saying that the way I think they should do it. I love it when the videos just make it easy for it. It's easy work, right? Sometimes you can't make this up. You just can't, just like it flows. It flows. I think the process should work this way. Y'all gonna denounce her for having an opinion? She's not a judge. She's not a judge. She's not an immigration. No, she's not an immigration judge. She is a host on The View. The way and she didn't say anything legal. She said the way I think it should work. Right. Nobody cares. Just like y'all don't care about me. So nobody don't care about her thoughts and opinions either. Right? We want the process of the law to be, like I just showed you, to be expedited. That's what we voted for, and it can be expedited, and it is being expedited. Yes, that's what we want. Okay, now we got some. Oh man, I gotta. Yes. So this is a Canadian gentleman, right? Here we go. All right. Bye bye.
Goodbye, Donald Trump.
Goodbye.
We're finally moving to Canada.
Moving to Canada. All right.
Oh, you guys are actually serious this time. Dope. Well, welcome to Canada, where the average median wage is less than a Starbucks barista's in Seattle, where the unemployment rate is 70% higher than America's, where our household debt is the worst in the G7, where drinking on the beach is illegal, but shooting heroin on a playground isn't. We might even give you the tools for it. Where we have universal health care, except 25% of us don't have a family doctor, and where our Prime Minister openly advocates for doubling our population entirely by immigration over the next 24 years. But hey, at least we've got poutine, handgun bans, and a great relationship with the Chinese government.
Goodbye, Donald Trump.
Come on up to Canada. Come on up and see me sometime, eh? Hey, right? They moved up there. Good for them. Good for them. Enjoy Canada. I don't have any problem with Canada. But They talking all that mess, and the Canadian just dropped bars on them, right? Canadian just dropped bars on them. I mean, I didn't even have to do it. I just hey, this is what leftists do, right? All right, so here's another one. Okay, we got another one talking about this. Right. Goodness, glad to see them go. Exactly. Okay, here we go. So we got this one going on right here.
Brazil
right?
are at the top of the list to find out what increased tariffs actually feel like. Why? Because they were given an extra 90 days to negotiate a fair deal, and they blew it. So now, on August 1st, Canada's getting slapped with 35% tariff, and Brazil 50%. This isn't random. This is what happens when you waste time, run your mouth, and play tough with the U.S. Trump made it clear, if you want to trade with America, come to the table with respect. Stop attacking the president's character. Stop gaming the system and start making fair deals. Because if you don't, you're getting a tariff, and then another one and another until you figure it out. Brazil tried to lecture us on democracy while putting Bolsonaro on trial for speaking out, and Canada failed to stop the flow of fentanyl, then cried foul when we pushed back. Sorry, but we don't owe anyone a free ride anymore. These tariffs aren't just economic, they're discipline. They're how you fix decades of bad deals and global freeloading. Trump isn't backing down, and honestly, he shouldn't. Looks like Canada and Brazil are at the...
Exactly. We're saying, look, guys, the tariffs, we see it. They're doing what Trump intended them to do, to get these countries to the negotiating table. And if they don't negotiate, then the tariffs go into effect. Right? People saying, oh, the amount. Yeah. All right. 0.01% of drugs come from Canada. That's too much. That's too much. How many overdoses of fentanyl are okay coming across the border from Canada? There's enough? Huh? No? Oh, okay, good. All right. Now, let's listen into this one. I know everybody's really upset about this stuff. I don't know why. All right? I don't know why. Not this one. I know. Where is it? Not that one. Hold on one second. Go pull that one up. That's the different one. All right, here we go. That's the one I want. Yes. Yes, here we go. Oh, wait, this is the same lady. Okay, must be the wrong one. I put the wrong title on it. That's what it is. Okay, I put the wrong title on it. Yeah. And thanks to the brother who keeps sending me these. You know who you are. Appreciate you.
In the month of June, guess what? The United States of America Government Treasury Department posted a surplus, $27 billion. See, we told you this was going to happen. We told you just wait. This was going to happen. Where did it come from? The Department of Treasury today announcing that we finally have had 1 month where the revenues that came in were over the money that went out. Guess where it came from? You got it. Tariffs. Their Treasury's monthly statement revealed that government had posted about $500 billion in outpay in the month of June while bringing in $526 billion in revenue. The $27 billion surplus was the exact value of the receipts from, guess what? Tariffs, custom duties. So we're bringing money in. Unbelievable. Since the beginning of the year, the U.S. has brought in $108 billion in tariff custom duties. That's $108 billion. Like, let that sink in. And the tariffs have only been in place in some countries for a couple of weeks. Now you times this by all the countries and years and months, and it's going to knock your socks off. In the month of June, guess what? The United States.
I mean, multiple outlets are reporting that this is the case. Right? First time. Breaking. U.S. governments. Right? U.S. government's shocked with a budget surplus in June. First in 9+ years in defying deficit expectations. Right? Great point. Great point, Otis. I normally only put super chats up, but that's a great point. Sometimes I got to just put a great point up there. There it is. Right? There it is. Yeah. Right? I know what I know what the difference between green and red. I know what the difference is between a surplus and a deficit. I know that. Yes. Right? There you go. Right? Oh, and again, if you guys want your dissenting opinions to show up right here, this is my show, right? I get to choose what shows up here. But if you want it to show up there, any super chat amount will show up there, right there. It'll be right there. And it also shows up at the bottom, you know. If you encourage your convictions, go for it. Yeah, go for it. But this is my show, guys. I get to run it. This is an actual dictatorship, you know, based on YouTube, right? But yeah, as long as I'm up, I get to run the show I want, the way I want it. It's pretty awesome. You guys should, if you have a problem with the way I run my show, you should start your own show. It's pretty cool, right? Over 1 million+ views in the past 2 weeks. Over 3,000 subscribers in the past 2 weeks. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, right? Revenue, pretty sizable over the past 2 weeks. I made the most money that I've ever made on YouTube over the past 2 weeks. Right? And it's in large part because you haters stick around and you keep coming back and commenting. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for, right? Staying in the light society, right? Thank you, guys. Thank you. So I'm going to be back on most likely tomorrow. So I might actually, yeah. And then, of course, you know, my subscribers, everybody that's subscribing and commenting and enjoying the, you know, enjoying the content, you all, I actually appreciate you as well, right? You get much love from me, right? All of this is, you know, in large part because of your continued support. When you come in, you comment, you subscribe, it increases the engagement. I'm really, you know, yeah. So I'm really thankful for you all. I had about another 10 things to talk about. We're gonna do one last thing. One last thing before I go. Let's see. Oh man. I want to do something funny before we go to leave y'all on a right. I know they big mad. Exactly. They are. I want to do one funny thing before we go. This one is funny, but it's Tommy Sotomayor's actual. Let's do this. We're going to talk about this. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this one. I'm going to go back to the loony lefty, right? This has been, we're going to do two other things. Here we go. All right. So that, yes. All right. Yeah, they keep saying I like an echo chamber, but I let all the dissenters in the comments keep going. I let you guys talk. I don't ban you. I don't even have anybody. If you go to my customization, what more do you guys want? You guys want me to, right? They want me to run the show the way that they want me to run it. Let me show you guys something. This is rare for a YouTuber. I have, look at this, y'all. Watch this. I'm going to show y'all something. Watch this. I have absolutely no hidden users. None. I don't ban people. I let you guys talk. You guys get to come into my comments and say all kinds of crazy things about me, about Trump, about what more do you want? That's what they're so used to getting their own way, the participation trophy generation, that if they're not giving special treatment, they look at it, right? They look at it as like normal treatment is look to them. They can't handle it. I'm treating you like every other commenter. There are people who say positive things that I don't bring up on the screen, and they say it a lot, right? But they're like, well, no, right? Regular treatment to them is just like, they're like, nah, we can't handle it. All right, so last thing, because my phone's telling me it's time to go to bed. All right, here we go.
Oath? He asked, his tone more formal than it had been a minute before. I am, I responded in a voice that sounded firmer than I felt. Patrick positioned himself between Chief Justice Roberts and me and held out a stack of 2 Bibles. Are you prepared to take the oath? He asked, his tone more formal than it had been a minute before.
Like, this is the woman who couldn't define. This is our non biologist, right? New dissenting judge, anything Trump related, anything conservative, she's going to dissent. This is a Supreme Court justice. Oh boy, how far have we fallen, right? We got to find some kind of way to get her off the bench, right? I know the process to remove a Supreme Court judge is, it's rightfully difficult. It should be difficult because, but they should have never let her in. Woo, man, she is absolutely a DEI, right? Yeah, a DEI hire. All right, y'all. We're going to end it like that. Thank you to everybody that has liked, who has commented and subscribed. We finished the night. Right? Kentaji Brown Jackson refused to define what a woman is because she's not a biologist. We finished the night at 99.24. Thank you to everybody. I think we started at like 9,600. So 324 new subscribers. I appreciate you all. Thank you to everyone. 325. Appreciate you all. Y'all have a great night. I'll most likely see you all tomorrow. We got some more stuff in the rundown that I did not cover. But I'm pretty sure there'll be some more stuff. Thank you to all. I really appreciate you all, right? All right. Thank you again. Until next time, be on the alert. Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. See y'all around. Bye.